Welcome to Superhero Simulation. This week we're going to be checking out how Juggernaut would match up against Wolverine using Autodesk Nastran In-CAD. I remember watching a cartoon of these two fighting when I was a kid. Wolverine was always my favorite, so I thought, why not check these ones out and see what would happen? Before we start, special shout out to Mitch Muncy, our superstar product manager of Autodesk Nastran In-CAD, for a little bit of help on this one. So I was told by two of my favorite fans that my contact information was too difficult to read. So if you need to reach me, here it is, nice clear letters, james.herzing@autodesk.com, at Mr. Simulation Rocks, or at ADSK Simulation. We also have Jenny's number on there in case you need to give her a call. So a little background on our combatants today. Juggernaut. Well, he's not just a big oaf. He actually got his powers while he was in the army, and he was in some sort of cave or something like that, and he grabbed the Crimson Gem of Kyderak, maybe something like that, and there was some sort of inscription on the little idol holding it, and it said whoever grabs this will get the strengths of the Juggernaut, and that's how he became so big and massive and powerful. Also, he's invincible whenever he's in motion, and a little information here, he's Dr. Charles Xavier's stepbrother, so that's kind of interesting. What about Wolverine? Adamantium skeleton and claws, and the claws are what we're going to be looking at today. He has an accelerated rate of healing. I remember him fighting Sabretooth, who I think is his stepbrother, or they're related somehow, and they both have this healing, I believe. He's also very angry and has some really fancy sideburns. Alright, so of course we're going to be starting off here in Autodesk Inventor, and we're looking at Juggernaut's helmet and Wolverine's claw. If we go into environments, we're going to be able to set our model up in Autodesk Nastran In-CAD. And we're going to start by creating a new analysis, just in case I had anything running before. So let's just title this Wolverine versus Juggernaut. And now we can just work left to right defining everything we need to do. So if we click on Materials, we can go ahead and choose Select Material, or type something in ourselves. But we're going to select something, and we're just going to assume these to be made out of the same material. And we'll say aluminum. So I know that's not exactly an accurate assumption, but that's okay. Since the helmet's invincible and adamantium's almost invincible, we can just say they're the same. We're going to go ahead and click OK on Physical. And before we do anything else, we're going to define this helmet to be a mid-surface. So what we're going to be doing there is turning a solid CAD model, which is what the helmet was, into a surface, so an infinitely thin surface for us to analyze with a thickness defined. We're then going to go ahead and select that edge that the surface now has and choose it to be fixed so it can't move. And we're going to do the same thing with that top surface of Wolverine's claw. So clicking Constraint, choose that surface, click OK, and that's now fixed as well. We're going to apply loads, and here we're going to change the type from force to enforced motion. We're going to choose that same surface to help with convergence and type in a negative 0.25 centimeters and click OK. And that's going in the negative X direction, as you can see from the axis. Alright, so with that defined, we're now going to go ahead and choose our contact type and change that to offset bonded and define our parameters here where our activation distance is 1 centimeter, and then we'll type in a bunch of zeros. So there's a little bit of a gap in between the claw and the helmet, and this is just saying that we're going to allow contact to happen between these parts even though there is a gap initially between them. So they don't have to initially be in contact. So with that, we press Run. You can see our mesh on the model, and if we click on Contours, you can now see that the claw is smacking the helmet, so it's causing some stress on there, so that's good. That's what we would expect. Contact is working, and you can see the hot spots in the red where max stress is, where the claw is hitting the helmet. But let's take a look at our displacement and really see what's happening here. Because if I'm thinking that the helmet's invincible, I think that it should still, even though it's going against the adamantium claws, which are nearly invincible, it should still hold up pretty well. So if I look at displacement, and of course this is exaggerated, we see that the claw is hitting the helmet, but it's bending because, well, it doesn't have anywhere else to go. So if Wolverine wants to attack Juggernaut, he needs to be a little bit smart, get him to stop moving, and then attack him if he wants to have any success.